Hey guys, Target here and welcome to another episode of Design and Manage, a City Skylines and Modded Let's Play series. In this episode I completely remodeled the highway network that we had in our city. I figured out that we were having quite a few traffic issues, so before expanding the city even further, I should plan out a final highway network that would provide easy access points to every single corner of the city. And that's exactly what I'm doing in this time-lapse. Also, by this point you may be wondering, Target, your city looks a bit different, what's going on? Well, there were quite a few people who were complaining that the current vanilla map, had a lot of fog and it was very hard to see the city in full detail. So what I've done is install some mods, some graphical mods that reduce the fog and make the city much better to see. As I was at it, I've also installed an LDT and also some other graphical mods that make the city much more pleasing to see. Rest assured that all of these mods do not affect the vanilla gameplay at all and are just graphical utilities that change the way the city looks. This is just a temporary test for this video, kind of a social experiment to see how you guys will react. If enough people like it, I will keep these graphical mods, if not, I will simply disable them for the next video. But anyway, what I'm doing now is recreating the entire highway system of the city, as I've told you. I've started out by placing an additional highway connection to the northern part of the map. There was a highway coming at around the river bend, and I figured out I could make a highway connection right next to the rock that was in there to provide an extra access point, so that's exactly what I've done. I provided a temporary access point to the northern part of the layout that was already built, and then I have built a highway that goes around the mountain that the map has on the northern side. This highway was eventually connected with the double trumpet interchange that I've built a couple of episodes ago, and provides extra access points to the industrial district and also the recycling centers facility. After that, I moved on to the downtown area of the city and I've completely deleted the existing road layout that we had. That was the home of our first industrial district. And then I've started planning out a massive highway interchange. This interchange would serve several purposes and would connect different highways. First, we have the highway to the right side of the city, which is the original highway that this map came up with. Then we needed to provide a northern connection that would eventually connect to the highway that I have just built around the mountain to the northern side. And then I've decided that I would also want a highway that would lead to the left side of the map and would cross the river and would connect eventually with the international highway. So the interchange of this area would have to connect these three different highways, and would also need to provide some access points, some on and off ramps to the layout itself. So it was quite a challenge. In order to make this interchange, I was deeply inspired in a already existing interchange in real life, which is located in Bangkok, Thailand, which is this massive infrastructure that is composed mainly of elevated highways and has quite a footprint on that particular geographical location. What fascinated me the most was the fact that were very tall office and commercial buildings that were sprouting inside the interchange itself. So you have these very high buildings that are embraced by the interchange loops, which I think looks really amazing, and I wanted to do the same with this part of the city. Of course, the final result of my interchange was just a modest variation of the real thing in Thailand, but overall I was pretty satisfied with it. Could this interchange be any simpler? Yes, it certainly could have. Would it be as impactful and be as awesome as the final result of this time-lapse? I don't think so. Also, I know there are a few people that are watching my videos and are trying to replicate everything I do, build this exact same city road by road, step by step. And some of them even complain after the last couple of episodes when I've built my double trumpet interchange next to the industrial layout, saying that it was too hard to follow. Well, I'm sorry to give you the bad news, but I think you are going to hate me after today's video. When I was done with the main interchange or the basic road structure, I rebuilt the original three-way interchange that the original map comes up with, and then I moved on to create the bridge of the leftmost highway that will lead people to the other side of the river. Then finally I just connected the interchange with the new highway that I've built to the northern part of the map, right next to the mountain. I then moved on to the industrial district that we have built a couple of episodes ago, and I finished up the interchange that was not yet complete. But yeah guys, that was pretty much it. I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of the time-lapse, and I will meet you in an instant. Now I would like to show you in much more detail all the connections that I've done, but before that I want to show you the results that this new connection and this new highway system has brought to our city. So if I just get out of this view, first thing that I want to show you is the traffic flow. So on the last episode we had a traffic flow of around 81%, now we're up at 86, 87, and in some cases I even went up to 88%. The majority of the traffic in this avenue has been dissipated. These cars that you see on the edge are parked cars, so they're not really traffic. And I've accomplished this by pretty much adding some other access points to the city. For example, I've built an out system right at the end of this avenue. I've figured out this avenue had very little traffic here, so it could handle a bit more traffic, a bit more incoming traffic into this direction. So I've built these off-ramps to both directions. If we come over here, the on points, the only points that bring traffic into the city are actually this little junction. Instead of directing incoming traffic directly into the avenue, which was what we had in the beginning, I've put it into the secondary road instead. Then we also have another secondary access point, which is this one. This is the second way people can get into this part of the city. And we also have a third one that will lead people right about over here in this avenue that right now is not being used very often because we don't have anything here yet. I know that there are a lot of people that will want to study this design, so what I'm gonna do is just activate the road guidelines, and now you can pause the video and study it at your own will. Even though this design looks very complicated when you first look at it, it's actually just a simple three-way interchange. So we got one way here that directs traffic from and to this highway. We got this way here for the secondary highway that I've built, and we've got another access point, which is this bridge that will eventually connect with the highway over here on this part of the river. It's just a bit more complex because, well, first and foremost, I wanted to make it a very dominant part of the city, of the central part of the city. And I also wanted to provide some extra connections that a regular three-way interchange does not have, for example, these access points here, and even some other connections to the own layout of the city. So we can now analyze each connection one by one. So let's start with incoming traffic from this highway. When they get at about this junction, they can keep moving forward and just move on with their life, where they will have the chance of connecting and coming from this tunnel and keep moving forward, or going right and go into the industrial district that we'll see in a second. Or they can go right at about this diverging road, and when they get over here they can keep moving forward and eventually get to this part of the city. Or they can just keep moving right and come all the way over here, and here they can go right and go into this part of the layout right next to the public transport hub. Or they can keep moving forward all the way over here and eventually get out in this little part of the city, in the outer edge of the layout. Or they can keep moving forward and go to the other side of the river. Traffic coming from the other side of the highway is a bit different. So the only access point that I have to the layout is over here to the right side, where they will be able to turn right a few meters across the converging point and go into this layout. Or they keep moving forward, just like on the other road. And that's pretty much it. They don't have any other option to land in any other part of the layout, at least just not yet. People who are coming from this side of the river, they can just keep going through this road. Here they'll have the chance of turning right and converge with this main highway and eventually get out of the city. Or they can keep moving forward, and here they'll have the chance to turn right again and converging to this highway and go to the opposite side of the highway. Or they can keep moving forward and connect with this avenue right next to the public transport hub. In the future, when I start developing this part of the city, I might want to add a few more connections to this layout, because just one on and off point is not going to be enough. So for example, I can put an off point over here, and here I can continue this on-ramp and connect it to this highway to allow for people to go to the other side of the river. Regarding on and off ramps, people have several ways of getting in and out of the city. So in order to get out of the city, they have, for example, this ramp over here that connects to this highway. Or if they happen to live on the most central part of the layout, so for example over here, they can do so in this off-ramp over here that connects to the same highway, but a bit further ahead. Likewise, they also have the chance to do so, as I've showed you before, over here, where they'll have the chance to get to either side of the highway. Then they also have other options, such as this off-ramp that is built at a much closer point to the public transport hub, and here they will have the chance to connect to this highway, and they can do the same at about over here at this junction. But it's only going to be used to go to the other side of the river. Because we don't have anything built there and no connection, people are not using this. If we go to the southern part of the map, I've continued the avenue, the tunnel that we had, and brought it at about over here, where it connects pretty much to this interchange that we have built in the past. So from this side, people can go to either way they went. They can keep moving forward. Actually, let me activate the road guidelines, perhaps it's easier. They can keep moving forward and go through this highway. They can turn left and go and reach into this highway, or they can turn right and go through this tunnel and get to this highway on this side. And the same thing for incoming traffic. So people can get to this highway and go to the southern part of the city by coming from every single corner of the interchange. And they even have the option to take a loop over here and go back if they desire to do so. If we go a bit further north, I also provide an extra connection to the industrial district, which is this thing over here. And I've done so because this little highway that I have built doesn't have a direct connection to the district, or didn't have through this interchange. And I didn't have a lot of space to completely remodel it because of the train interchange that I did not want to touch. So now they have a quicker way of doing so by using this off-ramp, or this off-ramp as well. People coming from this side of the highway that want to get into this highway, they can do so by going all the way over here, and then when they get at about this point they can turn around into a loop and they can access every single corner of the industrial layout, or even both sides of the perpendicular avenue with this junction over here. Finally, moving along here, we have a simple three-way interchange that connects the new highway to another highway over here, and I see a bit of clogging here. Perhaps I need to do a bit of work here, but for the time being it seems to be okay. But yeah, anyway, this interchange keeps moving forward and eventually has a quick temporary connection with the layout. Given the fact that we were building a highway here and we already had a built layout in this part of the map, I wanted to provide a quick access point just in case some people wanted to use it. And as you can see, some people are indeed using it. And finally, this highway connects with the original highway that the map had. And here I wanted to make an interesting connection. I didn't want to destroy the rock that was here, so I've simply built around it. And I think it looks pretty cool. But now what I want to do is work a little bit with this new part of the layout. As you can see, I've zoned a few blocks of avenue here, and I would like to start populating them. I even think I want to put some tall buildings in between these highway loops. I think it will look really cool to have some tall towers coming from inside the interchange itself. I am going to take a look at a couple of unique buildings that I think we could eventually place here. For example, this thing, the sea and skyscraper, would look really cool over here, for example. But yeah, let me just test out a few unique buildings, plan out the zoning for this part of the layout. I know that I want to zone mostly commercial and office because this area is right next to a public transport hub. And yeah, I'm gonna do that and I will meet you in a couple of seconds. Okay guys, so this area is now finally complete, or at least the planning of the type of buildings and zoning. So as I've mentioned, I converted this inner part of the layout as a commercial and office area. So it's pretty much a mixed type of zoning, and here on the left part of the layout I've put a small residential district. Overall, I am satisfied with the result. I think I'll want a bit more taller buildings, especially inside the loops of the interchange itself, but I think we'll accomplish that when these office buildings reach level 3. At least I know when they reach level 3, such as this one for example, they can get to very big heights. I think we'll be able to achieve level 3 building upgrades through this entire area when I rework the public transport network, because I think I am missing a metro station. Perhaps we can put another one right about over here, and perhaps we can even put a bus route that will connect everything here, because this is going to be a small public transport hub, and I'm guessing we need a bus station as well. When it comes to traffic, this area is pretty much controlled, at least for the time being. So as you can see, there are no traffic jams whatsoever. Let me just check out our traffic flow, and it's at 86%, which is a very good number. I've also had to provide a couple of services. For example, I've added a fire station right about over here next to the residential district and right next to the plaza, which I think looks great. I've added a medical clinic and also an elementary school to raise the land value for the residents in this location. And here in this area I've put a police headquarters. This area still needs some work. For example, when it comes to decoration, I still think I can place some more parks and also some more pathways. For example, these dead ends over here, such as this one, could easily be connected to this area with a small pathway. Let me exemplify. I could do a small connection. Now people have an easier way to travel between this road and also this road just by walking. And of course we are also missing a lot of trees. When I'm finally done with this area, I think it's going to look amazing. But anyway guys, that's going to be it for today. Incredible progress in this video. I'm sorry if you wanted more details in the highway network construction and I didn't provide in this video because it was extremely sped up. But I want to get this over with as soon as possible so we don't have to worry about highways in the next future. Also, I would like to know your feedback about the graphic changing mods that I've used in this video. Again, if this is something that you do not agree with, because it is an unmodded series after all, let me know and I will disable them for the following videos. Personally, I think the city looks much better with these mods enabled and I would like to keep using them, but it's gonna be up to you guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video and I hope to see you again for the next one. Thank you so much for watching and as always, have fun!